Hey, what's up, YouTube? We're back with another video. This one is about the engagement. Alright?
I feel like I'm on dope, 'cause you set me on a regular. Boy, this tide is rope. Before we drift any deeper, baby, now hold me close.
So, we had just came back from my cousin's wedding that I was in, and it was also the first time that Janessa was going to meet my family, which was a very important part of this process, right? We had talked about it in the beginning, of our relationship, kind of right off rip situation. You know how you just conversate and trying to get to know each other and your dreams and aspirations, and what our intentions with being in this relationship and going forward, right? So we take off our trip up to Rhode Island and attended my cousin's wedding. And while there, you introducing, I'm introducing Janessa to everybody, and I was really curious to see how she would respond with my family and how they responded to her. It was really important to me to see her interactions with them, what kind of vibes we're going to be giving off. So I say to anybody who is going to propose, family is a big notion. And I know in our community, because it's alternative, right, that you don't care, or you act like you don't care, but it is a major part, whether they're active in your life or not. It's just, I think, for you to be able to move forward with somebody, those are the ground rules that you should kind of move by. So for me, it was really important for that chemistry to be either made or established, right? I introduced her to my aunt, my uncles, their wives, of course, my cousin. But seeing her interact with my brother and all my nieces and nephews kind of like warmed my heart, right? Definitely warmed my heart to see her in that environment, not to back down, because the Kellys, my family is very much out there. And what I mean out there, they're very opinionated people, are kind of loud. We're kind of really loud, and can be very intimidating to some people, and some people coward when it comes to being in that environment, and the way that it's loud, and the way that we talk over each other, and just the atmosphere of it. But one thing is, we love each other no matter what. We're brutal at times, so you never know what they're gonna say. So the reactions between them and the interactions between them was really important to see if she could stand up. And being said, my aunt right off the bat was just like, I love her, I like her, so it made it totally easy for me to go forward with us, like, you know what I mean, without stalling or trying to wait till people warm up with each other and all of those things, right? Because sometimes it takes time. You feel like it takes time, and in this situation, there wasn't. everybody pretty much gelled together. Uh, so after the wedding, we come home, um, and we're just, watching YouTube as usual, and coming across a lot of wedding videos per se. So we're sitting there and we're watching them, seeing how weddings are done.
Of course, my side of the proposal is going to start probably later than hers since it was a surprise for me. But I can at least start back with when I felt like I saw a shift in our relationship. I could tell that something was different. I think we've always known that we would one day get married. We've talked about it early on. But even knowing that, I could still kind of tell when it became kind of concrete. I don't know. So we had taken a trip to Rhode Island to see her family and actually to attend a wedding. And it seemed like when we got back, something was different. She was like really into weddings all of a sudden. She normally watches YouTube like all day, but she's very specific with the things that she watches. And all of a sudden, we were watching all of these weddings and not really proposals. It was really all like getting ready for the wedding type videos where they do, when they're getting dressed, things like that, the actual ceremonies and the receptions. And for some reason, we were gravitating towards African weddings, which they are so elaborate. So it was so fun for me because I like anything that's like extra extra. So we started watching those like every single day. Like it was getting to the point where it's like, okay, obviously something's up. And so in watching it, we started actually planning out our day and, oh, I would love to see that, or I wouldn't like to see that. And things just kind of started falling together where we were like coming up with ideas for the ceremony and coming up with ideas for how we want things to look and things like that. So it was starting to feel real, but we always talked as if the timeline was, a few years off. So although I was getting excited, I was telling like my mom and stuff, like, I think she's going to ask me. I think she's going to ask me. I still meant that I think she's going to ask me like next year. And then we're going to plan for like a year or two. Cause that's something I'm adamant about. I have to have enough time to plan because I am a master planner.
I was laying in the bed next to her, and I was like thinking to myself, because I'm always in my head, right? So I'm thinking, let me meditate on this, right? And how I meditate is always, in the morning time, having a conversation with God. And my conversation kind of went like this: if it is meant for us to move forward, um, you will help me make this happen. Like, you would make it easy for me to propose. You would make it not so stressful, not feeling forced, right? So if it's meant for me and her to go forward in this relationship and take it to the next level, you'll help me make it happen. So fast forward, I'm going through, looking through Facebook, then all of a sudden, rings started popping up on my Facebook. Okay, I don't know how Facebook knows this, whatever, right? In divine time, I will say. So, and I'm just flipping through, and Jared came across, and there was this ring that's rose gold, and um, and it's two-toned, and it just looked like her, right? It looked like something, not something that she would choose, that she would absolutely love. And maybe 3 days after we got back home, and so I purchased a ring. And when I purchased the ring, I went into Ari's room, my stepdaughter's room, and I said, Ari, what you think? I want to propose to your mom. How do you feel about it? And she said, oh, I'm happy in the Ari way. Yeah, that's good. you know. So that's how she did it. So I was like, okay. And I showed her the ring. And she was like, that's mom right there. She's like, that is mom. And she's going to love it. So I was like, cool. We starting off great. Right? So then I reach out to her sister. Okay. And I say to her, hey, I'm going to propose to Janessa, right? And I said, I'm gonna need your help. I know you guys are gonna be there, and you're gonna be at the harbor. And all I need you to do is, we can't do it until 4 o'clock. Is right there. All you have to do is figure out what to do with her for the rest of the day, right? Um, so I started after that. She's like, cool, I got you. Oh my gosh, she's so excited. I got you, I got you. And I was like, don't say anything to anybody, right?
So I have a retreat with my sorors every few months or so. And so we were planning a retreat so that we could bring in a new member. And those retreats are normally very structured, require a lot more planning than the ones that we do where we just go to have fun. So I was in charge of that and kind of putting everything together, and it happened to fall on my birthday weekend. Another part of me being extra, and it's probably a part of being a Virgo. I don't really like sharing my day with nobody, so I wasn't really that happy that we had to have retreat on my birthday weekend. But when it comes to my organization, if it's something I need to do for it, I'm gonna do it. So I said, okay, whatever, sacrifice that. And I knew I was probably gonna celebrate it anyway the following week. My birthday was actually on that Monday after retreat, and I knew my baby would probably be planning something for that actual day. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So I'm planning this retreat with my sorors, and all of a sudden, one of them was like, hey, we've decided we're going to plan a birthday dinner for you that weekend as well. And so we'll do it at the end of retreat because things have to be, structured the way I said. So there was already a set schedule of what we needed to do there. So they were like, we're going to fit it in that Sunday, which we were supposed to leave Sunday morning, right? To come back home. So she's like, we're going to do a birthday dinner. You have to get a black dress. You have to make sure, you're looking your best, all this stuff, because we want to celebrate you. So I'm like in complete shock because no one's ever done that for me. So I was really excited, like, whoa, I have a friend that's actually going to plan my birthday. Like I said, I'm a master planner and I'm a Virgo. So for me, my birthdays were always planned by myself. They were always 3 to 4, 5-day events. We were going to have dinner. We were going to go to the club. There's going to be a whole lot of dressing up because I love dressing up. And I haven't really been able to dress up in the last 2 years because of COVID. So when she said it, I got really excited. I was like, okay, I get to find my birthday dress. She chose a color, so that was kind of weird for me because my birthday, I always wear sapphire blue, which is my birthstone, black and silver. So when she said it had to be black, I was like, dang, I can't even wear my blue like I normally do, but that's okay. I'm just happy that she's planning it for me. So I'm going to do whatever she tells me I need to do.
Now, we're both not from here. But before, when I moved down here, I lived in Maryland. So automatically for me, I was thinking Baltimore Harbor. I love that harbor. That's pretty cool. So I start searching hotels on the harbor. And I come across Pier 5. Love it. Nice hotel. Nice staff. And so I booked it, right? So I booked it where we would stay 2 additional nights, so we could stay for her birthday and also celebrate, getting engaged, right? So we do that. And so I booked that. The next thing was to get the photographer, okay? So I got the photographer, found a guy, really nice guy. So made all the plans, told him what I was expecting, what we were gonna do, and what time. And it was gonna be that Sunday at 4 o'clock, right, on the 18th. So, of September. Time goes on, and, I start to probe a couple of days after a couple of days. And I was like, so where exactly are you staying at the harbor, right? And she's like, um, I don't know. I was like, so where's the Airbnb? So she gives me the directions from the Airbnb to the harbor. And I look, and I said, that's the Washington Harbor. And I was like, babe, I thought you was talking about the Baltimore Harbor. This whole time I'm thinking the Baltimore Harbor, and I can't say anything. So I'm looking at her, and I'm like, man, the wrong harbor. So now I'm like, okay. I start texting her sister again and say, I just found out it's the Baltimore Harbor. Is there any way that you guys can extend instead of checking out of the E&B, I mean the Airbnb, right? Airbnb, the Airbnb, and then stay a little longer because the checkout. Like, I don't know what y'all gonna do. Oh, we'll find something to do. We'll find something to do.
I was trying to be good because everybody kept saying it's going to be so hard to plan this for you because I know you're going to keep asking questions. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to ask any questions at all. But there was one question I just needed to know the answer to, okay? So the way that our weekend was structured out, Sunday morning was our checkout from our Airbnb. And our newest soror had just opened or recently opened a studio, a beauty studio where she does esthetician work. And she wanted to show us the studio and let us experience the treatments and everything there, right? So the only thing with that is we had to go really, really early in the morning because there are others that work in the studio with her, and they'd have appointments once regular hours, came around. So we had to make sure we were there before they opened to get our treatments done. And each treatment is like an hour or so, about 45 minutes. So that meant we had to wake up at 5 a.m. and we were going to have to go ahead and check out of the Airbnb because by the time we were done, it would be close to 10 o'clock, which was the checkout time, and we wouldn't have time to get back to the place. And if you've done Airbnb, most of them have the mechanical doorbell. So the code that they give you changes right at 10 o'clock. So if we didn't get back 10 o'clock on the dot, we wouldn't be able to get back in to get our stuff. So we have to check out before we go to the beauty treatments, right? So the question that I needed to know was, okay, we're having a birthday dinner, and I think she had told me it was going to be at like 4 o'clock, something like that. So if our treatments are over at like 9:30 in the morning and dinner's not until 4, then where are we going to get dressed for dinner? Because we don't have an Airbnb anymore and we're not in our city. So I asked this question, and at first it was like, I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. Don't you worry about it. So I was like, okay, all right, cool. Let them do their thing. So we didn't talk about it for like a week or so. One of my sorors was helping me like find my, what hair I wanted to wear, because y'all know I like to change my hair often. What hair I wanted to wear, what dress I wanted to wear, things like that, right? So no one had mentioned anything about this getting dressed. So I asked again, any idea on where we're going to get dressed, guys? So at this point, it was obvious that we still didn't know. And it was like, oh, well, we are going to find somewhere. Maybe we could get dressed at our new soror's studio. And I was like, okay, yeah, that could be an option. But does that mean we're going to get dressed for dinner at 9:30, like with dresses and heels and stuff, and then just wear that all day? So they're like, oh, well, yeah, no, that probably wouldn't make sense. So I'm getting a little like, because you could tell they didn't really know what we were going to do. So then another soror was like, oh, well, maybe we can just get dressed in the restaurant's bathroom. And I was like, huh? Who, me? Now, y'all, I'm not all that. I'm not trying to say I'm all that. I am real bougie, though. And I know my friends that really, really know me know that I don't even like to use a public bathroom. Like, I will hold it for hours if I have to, instead of using a public bathroom. Now, if I just can't hold it, I'll do it. And if I'm tipsy, I'll do it. I've learned, because I think I forget to be a germaphobe. But I don't even like to use them at all. I don't want to go inside them if I don't have to. So getting dressed in one, taking my clothes off, putting on a dress, putting on heels, like sitting on a toilet to put on the heels, doing my makeup in the mirror with people, random people, nasty people, coming up and washing their hands beside me and everything. Like, the visions that went through my head, I was like, I know y'all playing, because y'all, there is no way. And the one thing I kept saying is, it's not my birthday. Because I know ain't nobody planning a birthday for me where I'm getting dressed in no bathroom of no restaurant.
I was sitting in my chair, and my baby was like, yeah, these girls want to take me out for, on Sunday for my birthday. They want to treat me to dinner. I'm like, oh, cool. Let them do something for you. That's really nice of them. You know what I mean? And she was like, yeah. Then she was like, but they telling me I'm trying to figure out if I had to get dressed up, where am I getting dressed up at? Because the Airbnb is, we're not going to have it. So what are we going to do all day until 4 o'clock? So now her brain is turning. I'm like, oh, I don't know, just let them do something for you. She's like, all right, in her way, just like that. All right, I'm just gonna let him, because she's so nosy. That's what it all boils down to, just nosy. Has to be in control of it. That Virgo-ness in her, it has to be planned out. So if she don't, if it's not her planning it, it's a wrap. So she's like sitting there, and I'm thinking it's over with, right? A couple of days go by. I guess they're talking to try to figure out what to do with her all day. Finally, they come in with the suggestion that when she had asked, so where are we going to change after? Where we, for this dinner, where are we going to change? And somebody suggested that they were going to change in a hotel. I mean, in a restaurant, and then go. So now she's saying to me, these girls got me changing. Who wants to go on their birthday dinner changing in a restaurant? I ain't never did that. So I'm like, what the? So now I'm on the phone. I'm like, I'm telling you this now. There is no way, no possible way on this day that you are going to have her dress in a restaurant or somewhere to go out for her birthday, or for this. That's just not it. I said, so you know what? I'll just pay for a hotel room nearby where you guys are, so that she can change, because this is not going to happen. I'm not going to allow it to happen. Even if it wasn't me proposing, it was a birthday dinner. This just, no, hell to the no. This is what you came up with. So I was like, all right, so here I go on the search for a hotel room that does early check-in without having to do Friday, Saturday type deal, right? So I found a hotel that would have been, I had asked her where exactly is the spa that y'all are going to be at. So she gave me that. So I literally found a hotel room that was 22 minutes away from the Baltimore Harbor, and also 22 minutes away from the actual where they were going to be at for the spa. So I picked it perfectly. Can't get no better on the fly. I give myself an A plus. Okay. So now I'm thinking, I texted, I said, hey, you know what? You guys can go ahead. I booked this room. I'm going to check in early. So the plan is this. Me and Ari are gonna drive up because it's still a two hour drive for us from Richmond to Maryland, right? So it's 2 hour drive. I said, so we're gonna drive up. We're gonna get up. We're gonna get there about 2 o'clock is when I could actually check in for the hotel. Okay, great. I said, and then about 2:15, y'all should be able to go there. That gives her a few hours because it's only 22 minutes away from there to there. So that gives her plenty of time to actually change and get ready for this. So she is feeling her best self, right? I needed her. The importance was this was an engagement that I want her to remember. And I also wanted her to get prepared without knowing what was going on, right? Because the last thing I want is for my future wife to have photographs or memories of where she felt like she could have, she wasn't prepared, that I wish it was this way or I wish it was that way. So it's kind of making it as easy as possible for her to achieve what she deserved, which was a great proposal in my opinion, right?
So my soror comes back and she says that her and her wife have decided that they're going to do a couple little retreat, or not retreat, like a vacation for a day. And so her wife was going to drive up to Maryland and meet us there. And then we could use their hotel room to get dressed for dinner. And then me and my other soror would drive back to Virginia and she would stay there with her wife. So I was like, okay, cool. So much better plan. I'll get dressed in a hotel room. All right. So let's fast forward to that weekend. Because day morning comes. I am up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I am tired as hell and I don't want to be up. But I'm glad that we did because it was a really nice way to start a morning that was going to turn into a proposal. So our soror gave us back treatments that were so relaxing. Like I said, I think it lasted about 45 minutes. So I got to do my treatment first and our other sorors went to Starbucks and got us some drinks. And it was really relaxing and very nice. So love that. After that, we went to, I think it's called Pike and Rose in Baltimore. And we had breakfast. And that was a really nice experience as well. Really nice restaurant, really delicious food. They had mimosas, so I was really happy. I was a little tipsy, and I was feeling good. We had a good day. So far, good morning, right?
So when we're driving down, I heard Sora saying, oh, we're at brunch. Okay, good. And I was like, you could stretch it. I think I was like maybe 45 minutes still away when they were still at brunch. And it was sitting there. She was like, yeah, we got this. So we get there. So now it's like 2 o'clock. We're booking it. Actually, it was a little before 2 o'clock. It had to be like 1:45. So we're calling because I needed some information about the girl's car or her sister's car or whatever the case may be. There was some information that I needed for the check-in. So we wasn't getting anything because I guess they had poor service over there. So we're texting two of her sisters, not getting any responses. So finally, Ari looked to see where her location was. They took her to a hair supply store, right? But that hair supply store was 45 minutes away from where they were supposed to be.
The hair that I had ordered to go with my dress, because yes, I thought I was going to wear one wig, the beginning of the weekend, and then one for my birthday dinner. Amazon decided to delay it by a day, and then it was delivered actually the day we left, a few hours after we drove off. So my soror, when we got back in the car after walking around, was like, let's go to the hair store and get you, some new hair, at least see if they have some since we have time to kill anyway. So I was like, okay, cool. So we go to this hair store, child, crazy ass hair store. They have wigs in there for my, well, I'm not gonna say my Florida girls because I'm sure it's in every city. For my beauty supply girls like me that don't spend, sometimes I'll spend hundreds on wigs, but most times I'm not. I'm gonna make a synthetic look really, really good. We know the prices of our wigs. We know our brands. We know what we normally get, right? So brands that I've been getting for years for 40, 50, 60 maybe dollars. These people in here wanting to charge 120 and 150. Like, girl, where? Ain't there's not even no human hair on that head. What are you talking about? Ridiculous. So anyway, we go to this hair store and found actually this hair right here. And then we go to the hotel.
It is now like 1:45. Okay. So I'm like, what? So me and Ari get back in the car and we drive 22 minutes down the road for us so that we can check in to the actual hotel. Now we can't check in the early check-in until 3 o'clock, which still makes it really fast for us, right? So I go and we finally check in, we change, we get ready, we go downstairs to meet the photographer. And while I'm talking to him and he's getting everything in focus, me and Ari are putting the stage up, which is I have brought these letters, right, that said "Marry Me" and some rose petals that we put down next to it.
And so then we get into the room and they're like, okay, you got to get dressed. You have 45 minutes. Now, another thing that most people that know me know, I hate rushing to get dressed, especially if it's like we're dressing up, where I have to do a whole production of like a full face and all of that stuff. I don't want to rush because that's going to make me, my anxiety's going to get high. I might be high maintenance, y'all. I might be a lot, huh? But my anxiety's going to be high. I'm going to start sweating. I'm going to be hot. I'm going to be irritated. And I'm just not going to want to go. So when they said we have 45 minutes, I'm like, okay, well, I thought we were killing time all day, but then, and I thought we had until 4 o'clock, but now we rushing. So I'm like, okay, they say so, right? So I started getting dressed and it was like the whole mood like of the day had changed. Like, they were really secretive, like with just talking to themselves, like whispering off to the side. No one was really talking to me anymore. I don't know if they were frustrated about something. I really don't know, but like the whole energy in the room like just kind of changed. So I'm just like, okay, so it's my birthday, but I'm not really feeling like we're celebrating. Like I kind of feel like I'm a burden at this point. So I don't really know what's going on. So I was like, are we gonna get dressed together? Are we gonna play some music? We're gonna do something? They're like, oh no, you just get dressed. I was like, okay. So I needed to get myself in a better mood. So I called my bestie Chandra, and asked her, just to stay on FaceTime with me while I get dressed for my birthday dinner and just kind of keep me company. I don't really know what's going on. They're not really talking right now and no one's really getting dressed. So I really don't know what's going on. And she's just like, girl, it's hard to surprise you. Just let them do what they got to do and you just get dressed. Let's just talk. So I talked to her for the entire time that I'm getting dressed. Right?
When I looked at the Pier 5's location, they showed the weddings, and that was next to the harbor and next to the lighthouse, the red lighthouse that they have. So I was super excited about it because I felt like in the pictures it was great. And then when you get there, we had a little situation with the homeless people. So, but they had like this area they call the Rose Garden, like outside of it. So that area was clean. So I wasn't expecting to be on the grass, as you guys will see. Wasn't expecting that per se, but mostly was expecting it to be by the water because that is us. One thing we are is earth people, right? So we do love our water, we do love our environments, love beaches, love trees, love, that is just us. So finally, We're getting all of that done. Me and Ari, I'm sweating. It's hot, and it wasn't supposed to be this hot. And I mean, I'm sweating. So we used that. We made it work, right? We got everything staged. Now we're sitting there waiting.
I rush, I get dressed, and I do all of that, right? And then they're like, okay, it's time to go. And we have to take everything right now. So all the bags we've brought in, all the stuff I've taken out of the bags to get dressed, everything like that. They're like, okay, now we got to pack it all back up and we got to take it downstairs now. I'm like, oh, okay. So we handle that. I think I had taken 2 bags up there. Like, it was way too much shit. Let's just say that. But I always got way too much shit. So then had to carry that downstairs. But there was an elevator, so not like it was that big of a deal. So then they went to get the truck and I waited for them, and I'm standing there and it's hot outside. So then my makeup starts to melt away. And so I was already getting a little frustrated because I'm just like, oh, this does not feel like a birthday celebration. Like, I don't feel happy. I don't feel like we're excited about this. Like, I feel like people may not even want to do this. I don't know what is going on right now. So Chandra just keeps telling me, just stay calm. It's okay. It's okay. So I'm like, okay. So
Ari tells them where to park. Okay. Now, when you come in to the harbor where the Pier 5 is, Pier 5 has a actual open lot right here that you park on the right hand side. And then on the left hand side is a big parking lot. Okay. A little down the road, all the way further. So Ari puts in there where they should park and what they should see and where should they go.
we ride over to where they say we're going to have dinner. And there's a football game. Baltimore Ravens was playing, I think, the Dolphins. And there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot going on, right? And so it kind of just seemed like they didn't know where we were going, where this restaurant was that we were supposed to go to, where we were going to park, things like that. So again, I'm like, how is this planned? Like, I'm so confused. Like, do we not know where we're going? What are we doing?
So meanwhile, I'm standing there and I'm waiting. And I'm waiting for her to come, right? And when she, it was taking a while. And I'm like, all right, what is taking them so long?
So we drive, and then we end up in this parking garage. And we go up a few, I think probably to like the 4th or 5th floor. And they're like, okay, this is where we have to park. So we get out here, right? And we get out and we walk over to this elevator, and it says that elevators are only on the 2nd floor. Because why? So who needs a lift from the 1st floor to the 2nd floor, but not to the 4th floor? So I'm like, okay, I know this thing is playing when it's saying I got to take stairs in these heels, in this dress, in this makeup. But no, it wasn't playing. So we walked down stairs, and I swear, if it was 5 flights, it felt like 10. I swear, every time we went down and we turned around and we went down again and we turned around and we went down again, I was just like, oh my God, when is the stairwell going to end? And we get out to the main street, right? And so they're like, oh, we just got to walk right down here. It's just like a block up here, right? So by this time, my ankles are hurting. I'm hot. I'm frustrated. So we walk a block and they're like, oh, no, we still got to walk some more. Okay. So we walk maybe another block. I don't want to exaggerate because I can't remember how long it was, but it was the longest walk ever, you guys. So we finally get to this strip where there's like a big boat, and then we start to walk down this long straight path, like down to the harbor. So they're like, oh, it's not that far, just keep going, So we keep going, and by this time I'm getting cramps in my ankles. Like, I'm having to stop. My feet are on fire. I am just like, what the fuck? I am so livid by this point, right? So I swear at least 2 or 3 times they would say, it's just right up here. It's right around this corner. And we get to this corner and it wasn't the corner.
So Ari goes out, tries to kind of wave them right here. So I'm still standing there. He's standing there. They're in the cut.
And we'd walk more and they'd say, oh, we just got to go right here. Oh, no, I promise you, it's right here. It's right here. It was never there, y'all. It was never there. We just kept walking and walking and walking. So I kept stopping because I'm in pain. And at this point, I am pissed. So when we get to the last turn and we make a turn and we start to walk and they just all of a sudden just do an about face. Oh, and let me also, I didn't even say that part of the fact that I'm walking by myself because for some reason, the people that are surprising me have left me and they're way up there and I'm back here by myself. So in my head, I'm just like, why are we doing this? Like, I don't even want to do this no more. It's not even fun. This is not no birthday party. I'm done. So when we get to this turn and then we start to turn and I walked a little bit and then I noticed them turn back to walk towards me. I was like, what? Now what are we doing? So they're like, no, 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 we got to go back this way. Go back this way. I sat down. There was a bench. I sat down and I said, I'm not going any further. I'm just not. I'm done. You all figure out where we're going and then I will get up. I'm not going anywhere else. So if you listen to the beginning of our engagement video that's out on our Facebook pages, you can actually hear me yelling behind these bushes about how I ain't going nowhere. I'm done. I am done. And I was serious. I was really pissed, y'all. So they're like, no, come on, come on. You just got to come a little bit further, a little bit further. So I finally get up off the bench and start to walk. And that's when they, pulled out their cameras and turned towards me. And I turned and I saw Tasha. I was like, what are you doing here? Like the switch in emotions that quickly was so weird for me because I was at such a livid point to then go into being like so confused and shocked and excited. It was just like, what are you doing here? But I didn't know what to feel at that moment. So I could tell, like, by the way she was standing and I could see the petals. I do remember seeing that. And I looked at one of my sorors and I was like, are you serious? Like, this is happening now? And she's like, yeah, you gotta come on. You gotta come on. So then all my anger went away, of course. And it was just amazing. Like, I looked over, I saw that Ariel was there, my daughter, and I was like, how did you get here? Like, what is happening? And then the photographer, it was surreal is the word that I have to use for it because I really kind of felt like I was watching a movie or watching this happen to somebody else, even though it was happening to me.
When she comes up, that's when I drop to my knee and do it. I drop pretty fast. And I'm going to say why I drop really fast because for the past 2 weeks up into that, my knee was hurting. I don't know what it was. The devil's a lie is what it is. I know exactly what it is. Devil's a lie. But my knee was hurting up until that point. This day, it was perfect. I got down on my knee and forgot all the words that I was supposed to say. All I can say is we've been together 3 years, and I want you to be my wife. All of that work, that's all I could say. And I put the ring out, went like this, and she didn't say anything. And it was like, you didn't say yes. And they were like, she didn't ask a question.
But yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. It was everything I would expect it to be from someone like Tasha because she, like I said, she puts her time and effort into her surprises and the things that she's going to do for me. So I wouldn't change anything about it at all. I am so blessed to have someone that cares enough to do all of that for me. So yeah, to see her, dressed up and then when she got on her knee and opened the box, even though I didn't even look at the ring, you guys, because I was just so like, it was so much going on that I didn't even look at this thing. But all of it, like I replay it in my head daily because I'm just like still in awe. But more than anything, I'm in awe with who God blessed me with because this is a love like no other that I've ever experienced. That's for sure. So
I wouldn't change anything. the way that it went, me being hot, um, my letters being too small. Uh, it was perfect for it. She was super surprised, and I was super humbled that she accepted the invitation to be Mrs. Kelly. And I'm super excited going forward. And I hope you guys stay for the ride with us so that you can see this process that we're going through.
I love our story, no matter how it unfolds. That's our story, and we'll always be able to tell it. And I think everything happens for a reason. So I wouldn't change anything about it. I am so appreciative of my sorors for all that they did to surprise me. I'm sorry that I was a bitch in those moments, but yeah, I was not happy at all. But I'm happy that it all happened the way that it did. And I'm really happy of the outcome because I am just so excited to be engaged. So yeah, I know I've talked you guys head off. I think I'm probably like 30 minutes just by myself. And y'all are probably tired of us in these long ass videos. So I'm going to cut it there. But yeah, ladies, if you are like me and you think your time is not going to come, if you're in your 40s like me and you think your time isn't going to come, or if you've just been through so many bad relationships that you think your time is not going to come, it will. Just be patient. Everything happens in divine timing if you are very intentional about what you accept into your life and what you put out into the universe. But we'll go into that a lot more as we grow on this channel. But yeah, that was my day. That was my crazy, crazy day that my baby proposed to me. And yeah.